Hey everybody, welcome to episode 14, and I'm so excited to be here because this week we're actually going to be talking about what do smart estheticians do during like these slow seasons. So statistically, that this time of the year, so the summertime, and a lot of people will tell me like January, and I personally experience usually August, September was my slow season, quote unquote slow season. And so we're actually going to talk about what to do to be booked and unbothered because who wants slow seasons? I don't. You always see those people that are like, the market sucks, tariffs suck, all these things suck, which they do, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to be booked. But before we hop into that, I want to tell you guys a little personal check-in. So if you listened to last week's podcast, I told you guys that my husband and I were starting the foster to adopt process, and we are going into, I believe this is going to be week 3 today. So I record these on like Tuesday. And that's when our classes are on Tuesday. And it's crazy. So we got so much paperwork to do. And this binder full of just paperwork. And I totally understand. Like, they asked us the question, like, what would you want to know about a family if your daughter was going to somebody else? And that one, let's talk about, that made me absolutely positively nauseous. But two, it's a good point. What would be enough information about me or about the person that my daughter could be going to that I would want to know about? So they're like, you can share everything. So in the paperwork, it's literally all about like, who I am, who is Jessie, even like pictures of our house. They want us to do like a little scrapbook, a letter to the parents, a letter to the child, stuff like that. So they know that like who we are as humans. And I feel like it almost makes me, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. I think it's been overwhelming. I think I didn't really realize, I guess, how horrendous this world can be sometimes to children. I'm so, so, so grateful that I get to be part of this. It's actually crazy. So whenever I was in the military, I used to do this mentor program at a local middle school where I would go and literally mentor or talk to girls that were in the foster care system. And one is going to cry, but one of the girls that was in the foster care system that I mentored, she posted on Facebook the other day that she was baptized. And I hope she'd be okay with me sharing this. I think she would. But she went through it. She went through the ringer and she has completely changed her life. She went from pregnant at like 14 to graduating high school to getting really awesome job to being married, has another child, and is just thriving. And then to add that she was baptized, it's just like blows my mind. So here I am, second podcast in a row. You guys get to hear me cry, but I'm super excited. So I just want to share with you guys like some of that's going on, and it's just incredible just to seriously just watch what God does. But anyways, wipe these tears away because I just did like full exfoliation. Jesse's home from work today, and so I was like, watch Eden. I'm doing an everything shower, and so I did. I did a face mask. I did another face mask when I got out. Like you hydrate, exfoliated, and hydrated. And I feel exfoliated and hydrated enough to do this podcast. It's going to bring just tons and tons of light to your eyes, especially if you feel like you are someone who is spiraling and you're like wondering where your clients are, or you're like, should I slash my prices? I want you to take a second and I want you just to pause because we don't panic, okay? We're estheticians in business. We do not panic. That is not what we do. We market with power. So I want to show you what that looks like in this podcast today. But before we dive into that, I want you to remember that the waitlist to estheticians in business, the marketing course is open. So if you know that you need support, strategy, and you want to be part of the summer momentum, if you want to be part of this 6-week intensive, this is the time to get on the waitlist to make sure that you are in those things, because these things are going to be powerhouses to people who take it seriously. So the link is going to be in the show notes. Make sure you get on the waitlist ASAP because the doors open like in a week. Literally. Okay, now let's talk about panic versus power marketing. And I don't know if you've ever felt that panic where you're like, oh my gosh, I need clients in now. I need money, 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 money. Like, please, 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 God, give me clients. Like, I don't know what to do. This is just terrible, right? If you're posting like random reels, you're constantly doing discounts and you're just posting out of fear versus posting with a strategy, or you're over explaining your worth. I know I am somebody who is, I guess that's something that I struggle with, is over explaining my worth. And I have done this in relationships. I have done this in business. I've done this when I was, owned a spa. And that was something that I was overwhelmed with because I'm like, I have so much knowledge, so much worth. Why can't you see that? And that's where we have to kind of realize a few things. One, you have to realize that not every customer is for you. If they do not see your worth now, maybe they'll see it later, but it has nothing to do with your actual worth. It has to do with them seeing a money trade. That's what it is. It's a benefit to cost ratio. What benefit do they get for the cost that they have to pay? So you have to establish kind of what that looks like. And I've talked about a benefit to cost ratio a lot with like how to price your services, how to do stuff like that. But you have to realize that when someone's like identifying their worth, especially in a business capacity, you have a business relationship. And when you're in a business relationship, it is nothing personal. It is completely and utterly business. Like that is it. Okay. So I want you to remember that. And here's the next thing. Let's talk about what power marketing actually looks like. So power marketing actually looks like strategy. It looks like confident, planned, consistent, speaks directly to your dream client, and is built around systems that actually convert. And you might be like, well, I'm super confident. Are you portraying that confidence in what you share and what you post? Now, there's this like fake it till you make it thing. And in a sense, you can do that. I mean, I do tell my students, like, you are the esthetician. Like, you are the best esthetician in your town. So you have to act like you're the best esthetician in your town. And that comes with a mindset shift. And that's what's super important to be on the wait list, by the way, because there's a big thing coming with that. But anyways, that's a side note. It's a big mindset shift when you are power marketing versus when you're panic marketing, because you have to realize that just because they don't know that your business, your services have that benefit to cost ratio, have that worth in it, you have to realize that they might not now, has nothing to do with you and has 100% to do with them. And so coming across confidently is extremely smart. Okay. So booked estheticians don't necessarily market harder. They market smarter, and they do it even when it's quiet. That's the thing I want to share with you as well. There are a lot of estheticians that I work with and I speak to on a regular basis who are like, well, I'm commenting, I'm posting, doing the stuff, but I'm getting crickets. And I'm like, but are you building any relationship? If you imagine you are a literal billboard and you drive by thousands of billboards. Okay. Think about that billboard. Does that billboard communicate with you? Does that billboard talk to you? Does that billboard make you feel an emotion? Most likely not, or it's, a weird billboard. But in reality, that's the same concept is when you're using something like Instagram to just advertise instead of Instagram to actually build relationships. Because that's the difference between marketing in a place where it's just about business and marketing in a place that actually builds relationships with people. And I'm not saying go out there and get crazy. I'm saying that you should be doing things that are asking people to communicate with you. And it starts slow, guys. So just to kind of give you a background, January of last year, so 2024, I decided that I was going to begin kind of course creating because I wanted to be home with my daughter more. She was only like, my gosh, 2 months old. And I needed to figure out something that was going to be able to allow me in front of her, for me to be able to be near her more often. So I started doing that. So in January, I started really just figuring out what I was doing. I was in postpartum hell. Okay, not really my jam to cuss, but I was in postpartum hell. And I was struggling really hard. But one thing I really wanted to do that I really envied a lot of people on Instagram was that they were able to have relationships with people on Instagram in the sense where they had like a community of people that were like talking to them. So once I kind of figured my stuff out, this was around like May, I chose to post every day, and I was going to use my platform to try to get estheticians to give them support, love, and value. And I knew that when I knew what they needed, I could create things that they would then need, then they would trade it for money, right? That benefit to cost ratio. And I knew that my heart first had to be in the place of value. And I'm 100% not telling you, like, give out all your information. I'm not. But I am telling you that power marketing is marketing from a place of love, support, value, and then showing your dream client, let's add, you need to know who that is, showing your dream client that you are, in fact, the person that's going to solve their issue. So if you're unable to identify your dream client, you need to take a second. And one, I would recommend getting on the wait list. Two, I would sit down and I would figure out who my dream client is. I mean, I want you to get nitty gritty with it. I want you to get into who they are. I mean, give them a name if you want, but like who they are, get down to their sex, their gender, their race, get all the way down to the books they read, the things they think, the issues they have with their skin or their waxing or their insecurities. Think about the words that they say. If you had a little hidden camera in their house, what are the things that they are saying about the things that are wrong with their skin or whatever it is based off the services you offer? So if you're doing like body contouring, what things are they saying about their body that would make them want to come in for body contouring? How can you create things that are going to make them feel more supported, more loved, so that when they are ready to purchase, that they know exactly who they come to? I mean, I think about it. Oh gosh, I talk about this all the time. I actually purchased a course to teach me how to create courses because your girl had no idea. I knew I wanted to do it, but I knew I needed to be educated. I followed this woman for literally, I think it was like since 2021. So like 4 years, or it was like 3.5 years at that time before I chose to purchase. I was engaging, getting her freebies, doing all the things before I chose to purchase, before I trusted her enough. So you getting a follower does not necessarily mean that person's going to literally purchase your stuff. It could, but you need to make sure that you're showing up consistently in a place that is powerful versus panic. I hope that makes sense because you're out here need to be marketing smarter, not harder. There is a sense of consistency. There is a sense of that you need to be showing up all the time to make sure that people know who you are. Because I want you to think about any business, anything you've ever done and you've purchased from somebody. Why did you choose to purchase from them? And I'm not talking about necessarily like a restaurant, but like a big purchase you made. Why did you choose that company to purchase from you? Because you built it, probably because you built some type of relationship with them, probably because they've nurtured whatever it is, they've showed up consistently so that you can then have a relationship and then purchase from them eventually. You just don't know when that eventually is for your clients or for your potential clients. Okay, so let's move on to step 2 of this is our mindset reset. Now, if you guys ever are on my Instagram and you see every single Sunday, I share affirmations. I believe that affirmations are such a small but very pinnacle part to your brain. Literally, what you feed yourself is how you're going to treat yourself. So if you're looking at yourself and saying, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, how could I make those mistakes? And you're doing, should have done that, I could have done that, I would have done that. If you're doing all those things that are just literally telling your brain you suck, you're going to actually do things that make you suck, okay? Because your brain's like, well, she's already there. So you need to then flip the script. And I want you to realize that your feelings are normal in the sense of it's okay to feel discouraged, especially if you're a brand new solo esthetician or if you're an esthetician who's been around forever. It's okay to feel discouraged, but we just don't want to stay there. Slow seasons aren't personal, they're patterns. So I'm going to say it again. It's okay to feel discouraged, but we just don't want to stay there. Slow seasons aren't personal, they're patterns. Just realize that they are patterns. They're not something that people are like, let's all congregate and we are not going to purchase from Allison June and July. That's just not how that works, right? It's usually patterns of why people don't do stuff. So I want you to reframe your feelings, reframe your thoughts. Instead of this is failure, think about it as feedback. This season is preparation. Marketing now equals momentum later. And let me tell you right now, I'm going to hold this mic close to my face. Let me tell you this right now. What you do today is going to reflect what your business looks like in 3 months. Look me in the eyes. What you do today is what your business will look like in 3 months. Think about that in every aspect of your business, in every aspect of your life. If you eat a Big Mac for every single meal for the next 3 months, what are you going to look like? How are you going to feel? If you put energy into your business consistently every single day, starting today for the next 3 months, what is your business going to look like? How are you going to feel? What if you went to the gym every single day? Probably not every day, maybe 5 days a week. Took care of your body. How are you going to feel in 3 months? What are you going to look like in 3 months? So it's the same thing. Also, my favorite thing to do ever is to name the season I'm in. To name what situation I'm dealing with in the season that I'm dealing with. Meaning that if you're in a season of learning and you've identified this season is a season of learning, I understand I'm not going to be completely, utterly, fully booked, but that I am going to learn as much as I can. then you need to dive in every single platform you have, whether it's something you get for free or whether it's something you purchase, and you dive into that learning season. You become the learning season. Same thing if you're somebody who's like, you know what? I'm in a coast season. I'm in a healing season. I'm in a building season. I'm going to work my butt off season. You have to identify what you're in and become that season and do everything in your power to make that season the season, to maximize it. Just like you would maximize every single client that comes in, you maximize the season you're in. All right, so let's move on to number 3. Let's talk about what booked estheticians are doing right now. So this is 4 things of what booked estheticians are doing right now, okay? Number 1, they're tightening up their digital presence, meaning their website is going to have all the links working correctly. They're going to make sure that it is top notch. SEO is good. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just use your booking system as your website, okay? If you're like, I don't have a website, that's fine. Use your booking system. Make sure all your links are correct. Make sure if you're using a link tree or a stand store on your Instagram page, that all the links are correct, that everything works. I want you to make sure that the booking flow is good. Book yourself. Walk through as a client. What does that look like? If somebody is going to walk, quote unquote, walk into your business, what does it look like? What does it look like when they find you on Google? What does it look like if they find you on Instagram? Can they find you on Instagram? Let's add that your location is in your Instagram profile. Your location is in your Instagram profile, okay? Anyways, make sure that that is all good to go. The experience is lovely. Then I want you to check your emails. Are you somebody who has emails set up that where people are getting reminders of their services that are coming up? Are they getting those emails? Are they getting an email that says, hey, you're really awesome. If you love the service, please leave a review here. Do you have links for those reviews so you can easily send to people? Do you have a place where people can have like their referrals, send you referrals? I teach you how to do all of this. So if you're like, I know what I'm talking about, get on the wait list because your girl got you. All right. And then is your Google business set up? I'm not telling you that you should be like top notch 100% on your Google business unless that is like your main way of getting clients. If you're brand new, have it set up. Have it a place where you can identify, where people can like type in your business name and it'll come up. Make sure that's there so they know, people know that you exist. It's just a way of people being like, oh, okay, she's real. That's real. You want to make sure that you have that set up. Number 2 is they're showing up with intention on social media. They're not just posting. These estheticians aren't just posting, but they're speaking, connecting, offering value. They're letting the people know in their lives, their followers, they're building followers. Hey, I'm here. This is what I offer. This is what I do. You have acne issues? Well, look no further. I am your acne specialist. Oh, you have cellulite? Look no further. I can roll all that out. You have ingrown hairs? I got your back and your coochie. Because you ain't gonna have ingrown hairs in this place. That's what I'm saying, guys. You want to make sure that you are connecting and offering value. Now, something that an esthetician that is booked out, ready to go, is using model calls. This is such a thing that people don't do because they're like, well, I don't make money doing it. Girl, you ain't making any money anyways because you ain't booked out, okay? Model calls are really nice because they offer you a few things. And once again, I teach you how to do all of this. So don't lose your bananas if you're like, oh, I teach you, okay? But model calls are really awesome because you can literally have them pay to cover the stuff, cover like your overhead. So say you know your overhead. If you don't know your overhead, message me. But if you know your overhead, you know how much your services cost, and you're just like, you know what, just not even for me necessarily pay myself, but to pay all that stuff, it costs $30. Okay. You're going to offer a facial, whatever, for $30. This is hypothetical. Don't lose your mind. Okay. Everybody jumps off the podcast now, right? But anyway, so you charge $30. And this is very exclusive for like 5 people. And you use those. People come in and you really use that because they're not only paying you $30, they're paying you in testimonies, reviews, feedback, content, videos, pictures. They're paying you in practice. They're paying you in upgrades because you're obviously going to upgrade them for full price. You're obviously going to get them on your skincare and pre-book them after that. You are doing all those things. So using model calls is very important because then you can get before and afters and testimonials and stories, and you can be out there and providing for your future clients because you are working with intention. Now, remember, we're power marketing. We're not panic marketing. All right. So number 3 is we're planning for fall promotions. Okay. Estheticians that are booked out are planning for their fall promotions now. We're not slapping a discount and hoping for the best. There is going to be goals, strategies, timings, lead generations. When I think about any kind of launch I do, I try to give it at least a month of me communicating about it, talking about it, getting my future students warmed up. I remember this one time I just slapped together something and I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm just gonna do it. And I think I sold like one, literally one. And I was super upset because why didn't it work? Well, no one knew about it. Even when I asked after, why didn't you purchase? People were like, I didn't know about it because I didn't talk about it. I didn't have a plan for it. So it's actually something we're going to be doing in the 6-week intensive is we're going to be talking about a promotion. So in the marketing course, you actually have something called the promo playbook, which has been an incredible seller, incredible, like almost mini course, but you get it to the point where you can literally utilize every single step of it and create a promotion that sells, because I literally walk you through all of it. But that's going to be a week in the 6-week intensive, like group coaching I'm going to do with you guys, is that we're going to walk through an entire promotion so that you are like set up, ready to go. It's going to be about setting those goals. It's going to be talking about strategy. Copying what somebody else does is just like not a good idea. So anyways, we're going to be planning those fall promotions. And then number 4 is we are staying consistent even when engagement is low. Oh my gosh, say for the people in the back, we are staying consistent even when engagement is low. And that's what actually, I don't even think I finished my statement earlier, but I was talking about like when I first started like marketing my business or really just talking about giving value, I had 0 engagement, guys. Literally 0. No one messaged me, no one commented, no one did anything ever. And it was just like, wowzers, like this sucks, right? Even when engagement sucked really bad, I still stayed consistent because I knew that it would take time of people seeing me show up to trust me, to trust that I could answer their questions. That's why I actually created a podcast, because I was like, I want you guys to trust me. I want you guys to know that I actually know what the heck I'm talking about. And I've been doing this for a very long time and have enough degrees in this and experience in this to teach you something. So I want you to know that consistency in the summer means clients in the fall, period. That's it. Consistency in the summer means clients in the fall. So if you quit now, the clients that are supposed to be made for you in the fall aren't going to be there because you didn't show up. Because what you do now is what you're going to see in 3 months. So if you're super duper duper dead, like you have nobody coming in, you show up like you the busiest lady on the block. Okay. You show up every single time that you're booked an appointment. You're working Monday through Friday and your appointments are usually 10, 12, 2, and 4. Girl, you better be in that treatment room 10, 2, 12, or 10, 12, 2, and 4. Showing up, marketing, getting your butt out there, putting out more content, putting out more things, identifying who your dream client is, but not panicking. Power marketing. That's the difference, okay? So I don't want you to have a very slow season. I don't want you to spiral either. There's too many times, and I'm on too many Facebook groups right now, where people are just like, what do I do? I have no clients. I have no bookings. I can't do this. And people are like, I'm posting everywhere. And I'm like, but how are you posting? What does that look like? Because remember, if you're just a billboard, there's no communication between a billboard and a human. It just doesn't work like that. You need a human to human experience. So you want to make sure that you are communicating in a way that is going to allow people to realize that you're actually like know what you're doing and that you are worth the benefit to cost ratio I talk about, the cost that you're asking them to pay. Now, if you are someone who's like, I need a system, Allison, and I need help, and I want you to talk about this, and I want you to know this is actually exactly what I teach inside of Estheticians in Business, the marketing course. We talk about full strategy, promotion planning, social media, and digital marketing. So like all your parts of digital marketing. We talk retention, referrals, systems. I mean, yeah, I was like the referral master, retention master. Plus, you also get a 6-week live coaching summer intensive with me, which is incredible because that's going to come with feedback. That's going to come with not only coaching calls, but also like Zoom calls outside of that. And then the waitlisters, of course, are going to get extra stuff. So make sure you're on that. The doors are opening soon though. So make sure you get on it. So you're not feeling stressed and stuck, but you're feeling booked and unbothered. Okay. You're just going in, slaying some services, and you're leaving with all your money in your bag. Okay. So let's make the most of this season and make it actually profitable. Let's make this season profitable. I'm excited for it. But anyways, this is probably like a longer podcast than I usually do, but I had a lot of things to talk about because I mean, what smart estheticians do during slow seasons, that can be overwhelming sometimes. But smart estheticians are learning if they don't know. They're marketing smarter, not more, not harder. Okay. They're doing it right. But anyways, Oh, real quick before we just run away and hop off, don't unplug me yet. Just so you guys know, if you missed it, on Mondays, I've started doing Monday marketing tips. I know, clever, but it's all about just quick, like I've said 5 to 10 minutes, but it's really under 5 minutes have been the last like two episodes I've recorded, and it's quick, bite-sized, tangible things that you can do today in the marketing tips for Monday. So get in that, do your thing, listen to it, get some marketing tips, and just like be the best esthetician on the planet because you are the best esthetician on the planet. Okay, love you.